Listen up, family. It's Denzel Washington, coming to you with a word straight from the heart. A fire ignited by God's own Spirit, burning bright to light your path. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a new dawn, your soul brimming with dreams that could outshine the stars, your heart anchored in faith, ready to walk the road God's carved out just for you. Then, like a bolt from the blue, life throws a curveball, a coworker's sharp-tongued jab, a friend's betrayal that cuts like a blade, or a setback that shakes the very ground beneath you. What's your name, my friend? Where you at right now? Maybe you're behind the wheel, stuck in gridlock, replaying that heated argument with your spouse that left your heart raw. Or you're sitting in your living room, staring at your phone, wrestling with the sting of a colleague's careless comment that made you question your worth. Perhaps it's the friend who vanished when you needed them most, the stranger whose attitude turned your morning sour, or the boss who dismissed your blood, sweat, and tears without a second glance. Why do these moments feel like they've got the power to steal your joy, to dim the divine light God's placed inside you? Why do they threaten to derail you from the purpose He's called you to? I'm here to tell you, family, those moments don't own you. God's calling you to rise above, to reclaim the peace He's promised, to let His healing touch mend every crack in your soul and root you deep in His unshakable love. This ain't just about taming emotions, it's about answering His divine summons to walk in freedom, to live with a strength no storm can shatter, to shine His glory in a world that tries to snuff out your light. We're diving into 10 transformative lessons straight from God's heart to help you stop reacting impulsively, break the chains of anger, and seize the pieces reserved for you. These aren't just tips, they're sacred tools from God's toolbox, forged to build a life of mental, emotional, and spiritual resilience, to guide you through life's fiercest battles with grace, clarity, and a faith that stands like a mountain. Whether it's facing criticism with courage, setting boundaries rooted in His love, or releasing grudges that weigh you down like anchors, you'll discover practical, Spirit-led ways to protect your God-given peace and live with a confidence that radiates His power. By the time we're done, you'll have a roadmap to stay unshaken. No matter what the world hurls your way, a blueprint to walk in emotional mastery hand in hand with your Creator. So grab a seat, open your heart, and let's walk this journey together. God's got a word for you, and it's about to change everything. Let's start by getting real about how life tests your soul, family. You're moving through your day, maybe wrapped in God's peace, feeling His presence like a warm embrace when someone's words or actions hit you like a punch you didn't see coming. Imagine you're at your favorite coffee shop, the aroma of fresh brew filling the air, sunlight streaming through the window, and you're journaling about the dreams God's stirring in your heart, maybe a new business, a ministry, or a creative spark He's fanning into flame. You're in that sacred space communing with Him, when someone, a coworker, a stranger, even a friend drops a rude or inconsiderate remark that cuts like a shard of glass. That peace you were basking in, it vanishes, replaced by a tidal wave of anger or frustration that threatens to pull you under. You're thinking, why'd they have to ruin my day? I was good, Lord. I was walking in your light. But hold up, here's the truth God's whispering to your soul, soft but unyielding. They didn't ruin your day. You did by letting their words take root where His truth should reign supreme. Your emotions, your heart, your peace, they're your responsibility, not theirs, not anyone else's. No one's got the power to control how you feel unless you hand them the keys to your soul, unless you let the enemy twist their words into chains. God's calling you to guard that heart, to let His Spirit guide every response, to stand firm in the truth that He's got you, no matter what storms come your way. Think of it like this: the world's going to throw chaos at you, insults, misunderstandings, betrayals, you name it. It's like standing in a hurricane, winds howling, debris flying, trying to knock you off your feet. But you, with God's strength coursing through you, get to decide how you stand, how you respond. It's like slipping on noise-canceling headphones in the heart of a bustling city. The honking cars, the shouting crowds, the noise of life, it's all still there, but it don't touch you. God's teaching you to master your reactions the same way, to let His peace be your shield, your fortress, against the chaos of others' behavior. There's a wise thought that captures this truth like a lighthouse in the dark. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response, and in that choice lies our growth and freedom in Christ. When someone cuts you off in traffic, honking like you stole their joy, or tears down your work unfairly, it's easy to point the finger and say, "They made me mad. They pushed me to this." But what if you paused, took a deep breath, and let God's Spirit take the wheel? That pause is holy ground. Family, a sacred moment where you choose His calm over the world's chaos, His strength over your weakness, His peace over impulsiveness that leads to regret. Let's make it real with a story that hits home. Picture you're in a team meeting at work, pouring your heart into an idea you believe in, something you've prayed over, something you feel God's led you to share. Maybe it's a new strategy to boost your team's impact, a project that could change lives, or a vision you've carried for years. You're excited, your voice alive with passion, ready to make a difference, when a coworker cuts you off with a smirk, saying, "That's not going to work." It's a nice thought, but it's unrealistic. The room goes quiet, and you feel that heat rising in your chest, that knot tightening in your stomach. Your instincts to snap back, to defend your idea, to prove them wrong right there in front of everyone. Or maybe you shut down, retreating into yourself, letting resentment fester like a wound that won't heal, replaying their words all day, all night. But what if you leaned into God's wisdom instead? When you feel that trigger, stop and breathe, bringing the emotion to God like an offering. Name it anger, hurt, irritation, and let His peace break the enemy's cycle of reaction that automatic reflects the devil loves to exploit. Then, reflect with His guidance, asking yourself why you're feeling this way. Is it their words, or is it your interpretation? Are you taking it personally when it's really about their stress, their bias, their own battles spilling over? What truth is God showing you in this moment? Dig deep, family, because the enemy loves to twist words into lies that shake your faith. Finally, choose to act based on your faith, your values, and His promise of peace, not the heat of the moment. Pray silently, "Lord, is this about me, or is it their heart showing up? Help me see them as you do." By reframing it through His eyes, you see their dismissal ain't about your worth or God's plan for you. It's about their perspective, their struggles, their own walk. You neutralize the enemy's attempt to steal your peace, keeping your soul anchored in His love, unshaken by their words. This ain't about burying your feelings or pretending you're not hurt. It's about recognizing that your emotions, anger, frustration, disappointment, are real, raw, human, but they don't have to rule your actions. God's given you the power to feel deeply and still choose wisely, to walk through pain with His strength. Let's take another angle. Imagine you're at a family reunion, sharing a story about a tough season you've overcome with God's grace. You're vulnerable, opening your heart, when your cousin rolls their eyes, muttering, "Here we go again with the drama." That sting hits hard, threatening to shut you down. But pause, breathe, name the hurt, and ask God why it's cutting so deep. Maybe it's not about your story, but their discomfort with vulnerability, their own pain they can't face. By choosing to respond with His calm, maybe a gentle smile or a quiet, "I hear you, but this is my truth," you're proving the enemy can't steal your peace. You're walking in God's freedom, showing His strength in you. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32 states, "Better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city." God's calling you to be that warrior of patience, to master your reactions and let His healing touch mend the cracks in your heart when life tries to break you. What's your name, family? What's God stirring in your heart right now? Where you at in this moment, physically, emotionally, spiritually? Picture the freedom of walking through life unbothered by the enemy's attacks, the rude cashier who snaps at you, the thoughtless text from a friend, the co-worker's shade that tries to dim your light. They lose their grip when you lean on God's strength, when you choose His peace over their chaos. Every moment's a choice. Let others control your heart, or let His Spirit guide you to a peace that surpasses understanding. The next time someone tries to rattle you, pause and pray, "Lord, their behavior don't define me, my response, led by you, does." Choose His calm, Choose his faith and watch God turn your reactions into a testimony of his power, a living proof that his healing can transform your soul and set you free to walk boldly in his purpose. This ain't just about keeping your cool, it's about claiming spiritual victory, about proving that no weapon formed against you shall prosper when you're rooted in him. Now let's dive into a trap we all stumble into, expecting others to move through life the way we do, to carry our same heart, our same faith. You felt this one, family, haven't you? You're in a tough season, maybe your heart's heavy, your world's shaking, and you reach out to a friend, pouring your soul out, expecting them to show up with the same love, the same care you'd give. You're picturing them listening, praying with you, holding space for your pain, because that's what you do for them. But instead, they're nowhere to be found. Maybe they send a quick text, sorry, busy, or worse, they don't respond at all. Disappointment crashes over you like a tidal wave, cold and relentless, and you're thinking, how could they be so cold? How could they leave me hanging like this? I'd never do that to them. Here's the truth God's laying on your heart, clear as a bell. People don't live by your standards, your faith, or your heart. They walk their own paths, shaped by their own struggles, their own beliefs, their own battles with the enemy. Expecting them to act like you, to love like you, to respond with your kindness, it's like trying to control the wind or command the ocean's tides. It's impossible. And it only leads you to frustration, a thief that steals the peace God's meant for your soul. He's calling you to release this burden, to let his love guide how you see others, to accept them as they are, flaws and all, while keeping your eyes fixed on him, the one who never fails. Think of it like this: every soul's on a unique journey, carved by their experiences, their pain, their priorities, their own wrestling with God's call. When someone hurts you, annoys you, or lets you down, it's not always about you, it's their heart spilling over, their own story playing out, sometimes in ways they don't even see. Trying to change them, to mold their actions to match your expectations, is like wrestling a storm. It drains your spirit, leaves you empty, and pulls you from God's peace. God's saying, let men handle their hearts, focus on guarding yours, on walking in my truth. Picture a coworker who interrupts you in every meeting, cutting you off like your voice don't matter. Your blood's boiling, your mind's racing, and you're tempted to call them out in front of everyone or spend hours plotting how to fix their ways. But what if you prayed instead? When someone upsets you, pause and bring it to God, asking yourself what you were expecting them to do and where your heart's at in that moment. Naming that expectation, maybe you wanted respect, acknowledgement, fairness, breaks its hold over you like shattering a chain. Then reflect with his wisdom. Is it fair to expect them to act like you? Are they carrying burdens you can't see? God might show you their stress, their insecurities, their own battles driving their behavior. Instead of trying to control their actions, pray for strength to respond with his love, keeping your peace first, letting his spirit guide you to a response that reflects his grace. Let's break it down with a real-life moment that's all too familiar. Imagine you've planned a family gathering, pouring your heart into every detail, cooking your grandma's recipes, decorating the house, praying for unity and joy. You're expecting everyone to show up with the same love, the same gratitude, the same spirit of togetherness you're bringing. But your cousin rolls in late, barely engages, spends half the time on their phone, and leaves early without so much as a thank you. You're hurt, your heart's sinking, and you're thinking, I'd never treat them like that. I put my all into this. It's easy to let that pain fester, to judge their heart, to let their actions sour the joy gave you for this moment. But pause, what if you saw it through his eyes? Take a breath and ask God why this hurts what you expected. And if it's fair to hold them to your standard. Maybe your cousin's wrestling with stress, a job they're afraid of losing, a relationship that's crumbling, or a burden they can't share. Their actions ain't a reflection of your worth or your effort, they're a window into their struggle, their own walk with God. By releasing the expectation that they'd act like you, you're choosing his peace over pain, letting his healing touch mend your disappointment, keeping your joy rooted in him, not their response. This ain't about excusing rudeness or lowering your standards. It's about trusting God to work in their hearts while you guard yours, about loving them where they're at, just as he loves you. Let's take another angle. Imagine you're mentoring a young person in your community, pouring time and prayer into helping them grow. You expect them to show gratitude, to take your advice seriously because that's what you do. But they flake on meetings, ignore your guidance, and act like your effort's no big deal. The frustration builds, and you're tempted to give up. But pause, ask God what you expected, and if it's realistic. Maybe they're navigating trauma, peer pressure, or doubts you can't see. Instead of demanding they mirror your commitment, pray for patience to love them through it, keeping your peace in Him. By letting go of expectations, you're walking in God's freedom, showing His unconditional love. What's your story, family? Who's testing your patience today? Where you at in your walk, dealing with a friend who forgot to call, a coworker who don't see your value, a stranger who cut you off in traffic? They don't have the power to steal your joy unless you let them, unless you let their actions override God's truth. When you stop expecting others to match your heart, you take back control, leaning on His strength, letting His Spirit guide you. Accepting people as they are don't mean abandoning your faith or tolerating disrespect. It means trusting His plan over your own, knowing your peace is too precious to lose, a gift He's given you to steward. Next time someone lets you down, pause and pray, Lord, they're acting from their heart, not mine. Help me choose your peace over my pain. By releasing expectations, you're walking in His freedom, letting His healing touch mend your heart from the sting of disappointment, and stepping closer to a life unshaken by others' actions. This is God's call to love like He loves unconditionally, without demanding others earn it, reflecting His grace in every interaction. Let's shift gears to a trap we all fall into, needing to be right, holding on to our truth like it's our lifeline. You know that feeling, family, when you're locked in an argument, and it's like your soul's on fire to prove your point. Maybe it's something small, like debating the fastest route to the grocery store with your spouse. Or something heavy like a clash with a loved one over a deep wound, a misunderstanding, a broken promise, a value you hold dear. As the words fly, the tension builds. You feel that urge to win, to show them you're right, like your worth, your identity depends on it. We've all been there, gripping our perspective so tight it hurts, as if being wrong would dim the light God's placed in you. But here's what God's showing you, clear and piercing: that need to always be right is a chain around your heart, weighing you down, stealing your peace, feeding the enemy's plan to divide and distract. It comes from pride or insecurity, a lie that says your value's tied to proving yourself. What if you laid that burden at His feet? What if you faced disagreements with His humility, seeking His truth over your own victory, letting His Spirit guide you, understanding instead of conquest? God's calling you to a higher road, family, a path of peace over pride. Would you rather be right, or would you rather walk in my peace, reflecting my love? Clinging to being right stirs up tension, wounds relationships, and fuels frustration that the enemy loves to exploit, pulling you from God's purpose. But letting go, trusting His truth to shine through in His timing, brings freedom, keeps your heart aligned with His love, and shows the world His strength in you. Imagine someone accuses you of something unfair. Maybe a coworker claims you dropped the ball on a project when you know you gave it your all, pouring late nights and prayers into it. Your instincts to fight back, to defend your name, to point out their mistakes, to set the record straight. But what if you prayed instead? When the urge to argue hits, take a moment to breathe and bring it to God, asking if this fight is worth your energy, if proving them wrong will glorify Him. Instead of fighting to win, seek to understand their heart, asking questions to see the perspective through His eyes. Maybe, can you share more about what you saw? I want to understand. God might show you their fear, their pressure, their own struggles driving their accusation. Save your strength for battles that matter, ones tied to your faith, your values, or His purpose for you. Like standing up for justice or defending His truth. By choosing understanding over victory, you're choosing His peace, diffusing tension, and showing His love through humility, proving the enemy can't shake you. Let's make it real with a story we've all lived. Picture you're at a family dinner, the table full of laughter and good food, when your uncle starts arguing about politics, throwing shade at your perspective with a smug grin. The air gets thick, the table goes quiet, and you feel that fire to prove him wrong, to shut it down, to make him see your side. Your heart's racing, your mind's spinning with comebacks. But what if you leaned into God's wisdom? Pause, breathe, and pray, Lord, is this worth my peace? Show me how to honor you. Instead of escalating, you say, I see where you're coming from, uncle. Tell me more about why you feel that way. You're not agreeing, you're seeking understanding, letting God's Spirit guide the moment, keeping your peace intact. Or maybe it's a deeper wound, a friend who accuses you of being selfish when you've sacrificed so much for them. The pain's raw, and you want to list every way you've shown up. But pause, ask God if proving your point will heal the rift or glorify Him. Maybe you say, I hear you're hurt. Can we talk about what's going on? That's His humility in you, choosing peace over pride, love over victory. Let's take another angle. Imagine you're coaching a youth team, pouring your heart into teaching them discipline and teamwork. One parent confronts you after a game, claiming you're unfair to their kid. Your instincts to defend your decisions, to prove you're right. But pause, breathe, pray, seek their heart. Ask, what's making you feel this way? I want to support your child. God might show you their fear for their kid's future, their own insecurities. By choosing understanding, you're modeling His love, keeping your peace rooted in Him. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 confirms, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing. God's healing touches in this choice, mending your pride, restoring your humility, and shaping a heart that reflects His grace, even in conflict. What's God teaching you in those heated moments, family? Where you at when the urge to be right flares up? Over time, you'll feel the freedom of letting go, the weight lifting off your soul. Your heart will be lighter, your spirit calmer when you stop fighting to prove every point, when you trust God to reveal truth in His way. Arguments lose their power when you choose His peace over pride, when you let His Spirit guide you. Your worth ain't tied to winning debates or proving your smarts. It's rooted in who you are in Christ, how you carry His love, how you guard your peace like a treasure. Next time you're tempted to fight for the last word, pause and pray, Lord, help me choose your peace over being right. Show me your way. You're not just mastering emotions, you're walking in His strength, letting His healing touch shape a heart that shines His glory, a heart that says, I don't need to win this fight, God's already won the war. This is spiritual maturity, family, proving His peace can anchor you through any storm. Now let's talk about something that hits us all hard, letting others' words define who we are, letting their opinions weigh heavier than God's truth. Picture this, family, you're pouring your soul into something you love, a project, a dream, a calling God's placed on your life like a divine spark. Maybe it's a business you've been building, a song you've written, or a ministry you feel Him calling you to launch. You're excited, feeling His Spirit move, your heart alive with purpose, when someone cuts you down with a dismissive comment. Maybe it's a friend saying, that's a cute idea, but it'll never work. Or a boss brushing off your hard work with a shrug, saying it's fine, but it's not what we need. Those words hit like a dagger, piercing your confidence, threatening to unravel the faith you've built. Why does it hurt so deep? Why do their words feel like they've got the power to redefine you? Because we're tempted to let others' opinions shape our identity, to let their praise or criticism carry more weight than God's unchanging truth. But here's what He's shouting from the heavens loud and clear, your worth ain't tied to their applause, their judgment, or their rejection. It's rooted in Him, the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, who called you by name before the stars were hung, who declares you fearfully and wonderfully made. When you let others' words take hold, you're giving them power God never meant for them to have, letting the enemy use their voices to drown out His. God's calling you to take that power back, to stand firm in the truth of who you are in Him, to let His love be your anchor. Imagine a colleague tearing into your work, not to help but to hurt, saying, this isn't up to par. I expected better. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to argue your case. or to let their words sink you into a spiral of doubt, questioning your talent, your calling. But what if you paused and prayed? When their words sting, take a moment to breathe and bring it to God, asking Him to keep you from reacting in the flesh, to shield you from the enemy's lies, and to show you His truth. Then separate fact from opinion, reflecting with His wisdom. Is there truth in their words you can grow from? Or is it just their heart speaking, their own biases or pain spilling over? God might reveal their insecurity, their pressure, their own struggles driving their critique. Finally, reaffirm your worth by declaring His truth over your life. Your values in Him, not anyone's approval. You're His masterpiece, crafted for His purpose, fearfully and wonderfully made. By rooting yourself in God's word, you shield your heart from the enemy's attack, letting His truth drown out their noise. Let's make it personal. Picture you're sharing a testimony at church, bearing your heart about how God's carried you through a dark season, maybe addiction, loss, or a broken marriage. You're vulnerable, standing in His truth. When someone whispers afterward, "That was a bit much," did they have to share all that? It stings, threatening to make you shrink, to silence your story. But pause, breathe, pray, Lord, their opinion don't change what you've done in me. Ask God if there's truth to grow from, maybe a way to share more concisely, or if it's their discomfort with your rawness. Then declare His truth. I'm your vessel, Lord, used for your glory. Or maybe you're a parent posting a photo of your kid's art project online, proud of their creativity. When someone comments, it's interesting. The doubt creeps in, am I hyping this too much? But pray, Lord, their words don't dim your gift in my child. By filtering their opinion through His truth, you keep your joy rooted in Him. Marcus Aurelius said it well. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. God's healing touch is in this truth, reminding you to filter what matters, to let His voice be the loudest. Constructive feedback can help you grow, maybe a mentor's advice to refine your work, but cruel words thrown to wound. They don't deserve a place in your soul. Let's take another angle. You're launching a small business, pouring your savings, prayers into it, when a family member says, "Why bother? Most startups fail." The fear hits. But pause, ask God if their words hold truth or if they're projecting their own doubts. Declare His truth, Lord, you've called me to this. Your plans for me are good. By standing in His truth, you're proving the enemy can't shake you. Psalm chapter 139, verse 14 reveals, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God's calling you to rest in that truth, to let His love define you, not the world's noise. What's your name, family? What's God speaking to your heart right now? Where you, in others' words, try to redefine you? Lao Tzu said, care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Don't let the enemy trap you, filter out, don't serve God's purpose. What don't alt with His call on your life. Next time someone's words shake you, pause and pray, Lord, am I letting this define me? Or am I standing in your truth? Show me who I am in you. You're reclaiming your power, letting God's healing touch mend your confidence, building a life no one can shake. Your worth's in Him, a truth no one can steal, a foundation no storm can crack. This is freedom. Family living for His applause, shining His light, proving His love is enough. Let's get practical about protecting your energy, family, because life can drain you dry if you let it. Picture this, you're in the middle of a hectic day, juggling work, family, your walk with God, when a friend calls, asking for help with something they could handle themselves, maybe moving furniture or venting about the same problem for the 10th time. Or a coworker drops a last-minute task on you, assuming you'll say yes because you always do. You feel that weight, obligation pulling you one way, frustration another, your spirit stretched thin. Why is it so hard to say no? Why does it feel like you're letting them down, like you're failing to love? Because God's calling you to set boundaries, to guard the energy He's poured into you like a sacred trust. Boundaries ain't selfish, they're holy, a way to honor the temple He's made you to be, the vessel He's crafted for His purpose. Without them, you let others drain the strength God's reserved for His plan, leaving you empty, unable to pour out His love. Saying yes to everyone else often means saying no to him, to the peace he's promised, to the purpose he's calling you to. A truth rings clear like a clarion call you can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving without guarding your heart, you'll burn out, resentful, disconnected from God's call, stumbling under a load he never meant for you to carry. Boundaries are how you walk in his freedom while loving others well. How you steward the energy he's entrusted to you. When someone oversteps, it ain't their fault if you didn't set clear lines. People ain't mind readers. God's calling you to speak your needs with his love, to honor him by honoring yourself. Imagine you're the go-to friend for late night advice, always there to listen, to pray, to carry their burdens. You want to help, to be Christ's hands and feet, but it's draining your spirit, stealing your time with God, leaving you exhausted. Instead of resenting them, speak your limits with love, guided by his spirit. Try saying, I love you, and I'm here for you, but I need evenings to recharge in God's presence. Let's talk tomorrow. That's firm, kind, and honors his call on your life. Then focus on your needs, not their faults. Choosing words that reflect your heart, maybe, I need time to pray and rest to be my best for you, instead of you're draining me. Finally, uphold your limits with faith, standing firm in your commitment to God's call on your energy, showing others you're serious about stewarding his gift. Let's make it real. Picture you're at work, and your boss keeps piling on extra tasks because you're reliable, the one who always delivers. You're flattered, but it's cutting into your family time, your prayer life, your kin. Instead of silently fuming, pray and speak up. I'm committed to our team, but I need to focus on my priorities to deliver my best. Can we plan these tasks ahead? You're setting a boundary that honors God's stewardship of your time, keeping your peace rooted in him. Or maybe you're a parent, and your kids' friends keep showing up unannounced, turning your home into a hangout spot. You love them, but it's chaos. Pray and say, we love having you, but we need planned visits to keep our home peaceful. Let's set a day. You're teaching them respect while guarding your family's peace. Let's take another angle. Imagine you're volunteering at church, giving your all to serve, but the demands keep growing. More meetings, more tasks, more calls. You're stretched thin, missing time with God and your loved ones. Pause, pray, speak your limits. I'm passionate about serving, but I need to balance it with my family and faith. Can we adjust my role? You're honoring God by protecting his gift of energy. Lao Tzu said, he who knows when does not find himself in trouble. God's wisdom keeps you from stress, from falling into the enemy's trap of exhaustion. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 2 reminds us, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Boundaries ain't walls to shut people out. They're bridges to relationships rooted in his love. Bridges that let you love others without losing yourself. Next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and pray, Lord, have I honored the boundaries you set for me? Show me how to steward your gift. By setting limits, you're guarding God's gift of peace, letting his healing touch restore your strength, proving you're here to serve him first. Protect your energy, family, and watch God fill you to overflow, making you a vessel for his glory. A light that shines bright because you've honored his call. Now let's tackle the trap of living for others' approval, of letting their opinions weigh heavier than God's voice. You've been there, family, haven't you? You've shared a dream God's planted in you, maybe a business idea, a ministry, a creative spark that's burning bright, and someone hits it with criticism or indifference like a cold bucket of water on your fire. Picture posting your artwork online, feeling God's joy in every brushstroke, proud of what he's inspired, only to get a comment like it's different. Not my style. That sting cuts deep, threatening to shake your faith, to make you question the gift God's given you. Why do their words weigh so heavy? Why do they feel like they've got the power to redefine your worth? Because we're tempted to seek the world's approval over God's, to let their voices drown out the one who calls us beloved. But here's the truth, etched in eternity, your worth ain't up for debate. It's sealed in his love, unshaken by human praise, criticism, or rejection. Letting others' opinions define you is handing them power God reserved for himself, letting the enemy use their words to cage your soul. God's calling you to break free, to root your identity in him alone, to stand tall in the truth that you're his masterpiece, crafted for his purpose. Think of it like this. Everyone sees the world through their own lens, fears, biases, brokenness, their own walk with God or lack thereof. Their words about you often reflect their heart, their struggles, not your truth. Why let their perspective steal God's promise? Imagine wearing the jacket you love, something that makes you feel bold, alive, when a coworker says, "That's bold." Not sure it's you. When their opinion hurts, pause and pray, asking God why it matters to you, if they have authority over his plan for your life. Then reaffirm your values, focusing on your faith, your purpose, the calling he's placed on you, not the world's fleeting noise. Finally, let their criticism go. Picturing it like leaves on a river, acknowledge them, but let them float by in his grace, refusing to let them anchor you. By detaching, you're shining his light, walking in his freedom. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. God's saying, be content in my approval, even if the world don't get it. Growth means standing firm in his path, even when others misunderstand, even when they label you foolish for following his call. Let's make it real. Picture you're pitching a new idea, at work a project you've prayed over, something you believe could make a difference. You're nervous but excited, feeling God's nudge when a colleague says, it's too risky. Stick to what we know. The doubt creeps in, threatening to silence you. But pause, pray, Lord, does their opinion outweigh your call? Show me your truth. Ask if there's truth to grow from, maybe a need to refine your plan, or if it's their fear speaking. Declare his truth, I'm called by you, Lord, not them. Or maybe you're a student sharing your poetry in a class, pouring your heart into every line when a peer says it's okay, but it's not deep. The sting hits, but pray, Lord, their words don't dim your gift in me. Let their opinion float by, keeping your focus on him. Let's take another angle. You're stepping into a leadership role at church, feeling God's call when someone questions your readiness, saying you're too young for that. It shakes you, but pause, ask God if their words hold truth or reflect their bias. Declare his truth, Lord, you equip the called. By filtering their opinion through his word, you're proving the enemy can't shake you. Colossians chapter 3 verse 2 proclaims, set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. God's healing touch is in this truth, mending your need for approval, restoring your focus on him, making you unshakable. Lao Tzu said, care about people's approval, and you'll be their prisoner. Don't let the enemy cage you, family. What's God saying to you right now? Where are you at when others' words try to redefine you? Next time their opinions shake you, pause and pray, Lord, am I living for them or for you? Show me who I am in your eyes. You're breaking free, shining his light, letting his healing touch build a life rooted in his love, a life no critic can dim. This is freedom living for his glory, proving his approval is enough. Let's talk about handling anger, family, because it's a fire that can burn you up if you let it. You've been there, someone provokes you, says something cutting, meant to wound, and you feel that storm rising inside. Your heart's racing, your fists clench, your instincts to fire back with words sharper than theirs to make them feel your pain. Picture someone at work undermining you in a meeting, throwing shade in front of your team, saying you didn't pull your weight on this. The room's watching and you're ready to clap back. But what if you chose silence, guided by God's peace? Silence ain't weakness, it's power. A holy choice to honor him over the enemy's chaos. It's a declaration. I won't let your words shake my soul. My peace is in him. When provocation hits, pause and breathe, praying for God's clarity to keep you from reacting in the flesh. Listen without defending, letting them speak while trusting God to guard your heart, to shield you from their attack. If you must respond, do it calmly, led by his love, choosing words that reflect his grace. Maybe I hear you. Let's talk this out later. By staying silent, you're denying the enemy the reaction he craves, starving his fire, proving God's strength in you. Let's make it real. Imagine you're at a parent-teacher conference advocating for your child. When the teacher dismisses your concerns, saying you're overreacting. The anger flares, but pause, pray, Lord, give me clarity. Listen to their perspective, trusting God to guard your heart. Respond calmly, I appreciate your view. Can we explore this together? Or maybe it's a social media spat, someone attacks your faith online, twisting your words. Your fingers itch to fire back, but pray, Lord, is this worth my peace? Stay silent, letting their words fall flat, keeping your peace in Him. Marcus Aurelius said, the best answer to anger is silence. Anger feeds on your response, silence starves it, letting God's peace reign. James chapter 1 verse 19 instructs, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak and slow to become angry. God's healing touch is in this discipline, mending your impulsiveness, restoring your calm, shaping a heart that reflects His wisdom. Let's take another angle. You're in a heated family argument, and your sibling throws a low blow, bringing up a past mistake. The pain's raw, but pause, pray, listen, respond with His love. Silence speaks louder than anger. Family, proving you're anchored in Him. What's God teaching you when anger rises? Next time someone provokes you, pause and pray, Lord, will respond and glorify you, or will it feed the chaos? You're walking in His wisdom, letting His healing touch keep your peace unshaken, proving His strength can silence any storm. Silence ain't empty, it's filled with His power, a testimony that says, your words don't own me, my God does. Let's flip the script with gratitude, family, because it's a weapon that can transform your heart. Picture one of those days where everything's falling apart, your plans crumble, someone's rude, life's piling on like a heavyweight champ. Maybe you're late for work, your kid's sick, and a client snaps at you for no reason. Anger bubbles up hot and fierce, and you're thinking, why is life so hard, Lord? Why is it all going wrong? Now pause, what if you turned to God's goodness? What if you thanked Him for His presence in the mess? Gratitude ain't just a feeling, it's a divine weapon, melting anger with His peace, reframing pain into purpose, turning storms into testimonies. You can't hold gratitude and anger at the same time. It's like light and darkness, one drives out the other. When anger rises, pause and pray, asking God what you can thank Him for in this moment, even if it's small, stuck in traffic, fuming. Take a breath and thank Him for the breath in your lungs, the car you're driving, the purpose you're chasing, the song on the radio lifting your spirit. Each night, write down 3 blessings, no matter how tiny, a warm meal, a kind word, a moment of quiet, letting God train your heart to see His hand in everything. In challenges, ask what He's teaching you, how He's working this for good, how this trial is shaping you for His glory. Let's make it real. Picture you're at the grocery store, cart full, kids whining. When the cashier snaps, can you hurry up? Anger flares, but pause, pray, Lord, what can I thank you for? Thank Him for the food you're buying, the strength to parent, the chance to show grace. Or maybe you're facing a health scare, fear and frustration rising. Pray, Lord, thank you for your presence, for doctors, for hope. Cicero said, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. It builds resilience, deepens faith, keeps you anchored in Him. Philippians chapter 4 verse 4 commands, rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. God's healing touches in every thankful moment, mending your frustration, restoring His joy, making you unshakable. Let's take another angle. You're passed over for a promotion you've worked for, and anger's eating you up. Pause, thank God for the job you have, the skills He's building, the doors He's opening. Gratitude shifts your focus to His plan. What's God showing you, family? Next time anger creeps in, pause and pray, Lord, show me your goodness. What can I thank you for? Watch His peace replace your pain, His healing touch making you whole. Peace ain't found, it's built, one grateful moment at a time, proving His love can transform any heart. Criticism stings, family, but God's using it to shape you, to refine you like gold in the fire. You share a dream, a piece of your heart, and someone tears it down with harsh words. Maybe you're presenting a new idea at work, or sharing your art, or stepping out in faith, and their critique feels like a slap. The defensiveness rises, the anger burns, why can't they see your vision? But what if God's using that criticism to grow you, to sharpen you for His purpose? Criticism, even when it's harsh, holds value if you seek his wisdom in it, if you let his spirit turn pain into progress. It's like a mirror showing you blind spots, challenging your perspective, pushing you closer to his plan. When criticism hits, pause and breathe, praying for his calm to keep you from reacting in the flesh. Then, evaluate the source, asking if their words align with God's truth or reflect their own pain, their own lens. Finally, seek the lesson, praying for what you can learn to grow closer to him, to refine your calling, to walk in his wisdom. Let's make it real. Picture you're preparing a presentation at work, pouring your heart into it. When a colleague points out flaws, not to help, but to flex. It stings, but pause, pray, Lord, is there truth here? Maybe there's a way to clarify your points, or maybe it's their insecurity speaking. Seek the lesson, how can this make me better for you? Or maybe you're a writer sharing your first draft and a critic says, it's amateur. Pray, Lord, what can I learn? Maybe it's a call to hone your craft, or maybe it's their bias. A wise saying goes, criticism, like rain, should be gentle enough to nourish growth without destroying roots. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31 confirms, whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. God's healing touch is in this process, mending your pride, restoring your growth, shaping you for his glory. Let's take another angle, your parenting. And a relative critiques your discipline, saying you're too soft. It hurts, but pray, Lord, is there truth here? Or is it their lens? Seek the lesson, maybe new approach, or maybe standing firm in your way. Next time criticism hits, pause and pray, Lord, how's this shaping me for your purpose? You're growing in his love, proving his wisdom can turn pain into progress, making you unshakable. Finally, family, let's master the art of letting go, because holding on to pain is like gripping a burning coal that hurts you most. You've been there, someone wrongs you, betrays you, wounds you deep, and anger, resentment, grudges take root. Maybe it's a coworker who took credit for your work, a friend who broke your trust, a family member who hurt you with careless words. The pain's real, and you hold it tight, thinking it'll protect you, punish them. But God's calling you to release that pain into his hands, to trust his healing, to let go of the past chains. Letting go ain't about forgetting or excusing, it's about freedom. About reclaiming the peace he's promised, about letting his love fill the space pain once held. When pain hits, bring it to God, naming it without burying it, anger, hurt, betrayal, laying it at his feet like an offering. Then reframe it, asking what he's teaching you, how this wound's shaping you for his glory. Finally, focus on now, shifting to his peace, where he's working, where he's making all things new. Let's make it real. Picture a coworker stealing your idea, getting the praise you deserved. The anger burns, but pray, Lord, I release this to you. Show me your lesson. Maybe it's humility. Trust in his justice. Focus on now your next step, his plan. Or maybe it's a childhood wound, a parent's neglect that still stings. Bring it to God, reframe it, Lord. How's this shape my strength? Focus on his healing today. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1 declares, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. God's healing touch mends every wound, restoring peace, making you whole. Let's take another angle. You're holding on to a failed relationship, replaying what went wrong. Pray, Lord, I release this. What's your lesson? Focus on his purpose now, new doors, new growth. Next time pain lingers, pause and pray, Lord, is this worth my peace? What's your plan if I let go? You're free. Family, his healing shines through you, proving his love can break any chain. God's crafting a masterpiece in you, family. These lessons are his tools, building a life unshaken, rooted in his peace. What's your name? What's he whispering to your soul? You're called to shine his light, to heal through his love, to walk in freedom no storm can shake. Share this truth with someone who needs it, a friend fighting the same battles, a soul needing his touch. Drop amen in the comments. Let the world know you're standing on his promises. Hit that like, subscribe, and let's build a family of faith, lifting each other up, shining his glory. Your story ain't over, it's unfolding, and his light shining through every crack, every wound, every victory. Keep walking, keep trusting. Keep shining your peace is his promise. Your breakthrough's gonna shake the heavens. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.